and a very big welcome back to my channel. So today's video is my favorite ab moves, including do's and don'ts. And we're going to start by taking note of why a lot of you are experiencing back pain. So when you go to do an ab move, I want you to notice the gap between your back and the mat. Tilt your hips under and try and reduce that gap. Now, when you bring your legs and head up to do a leg raise, I want you to see how low you can take your legs. Now, for me, I can get mine pretty low right now. However, for a lot of us, we're trying to force it and it starts to look wrong, like this. As you can notice, I've now got a bigger arch in my back, and that is where the pain comes in, and we're no longer using our abs, we're just using our back. So it doesn't matter how low you take your legs, more that your back stays flat on the mat. Over time, you'll get stronger and your legs will go lower, but I'd recommend between 10 to 20 reps of these. Now let's talk about planks, something that should be simple but starts to become painful when our back arches like this. It looks exactly the same as how it did for the leg raises, so I want you to tilt your hips underneath and hold it nice and tight. Obviously, the more tired you get, the more of a curve you will have, but you can also do this on your hands, and again, it looks just as wrong when you let it tilt. So focus on making sure that your back is as straight as possible, squeeze your bum, and take a look in the mirror. Also, a lot of us struggle to hit the same points. Now, for example, I want my knees to touch my elbows, but they're not. If I bring my body forward so my shoulders are over my hands, I can now touch. This is a great exercise, and you're simply taking opposite knee to opposite elbow, around 30 reps. Another one would be hill climbers. A lot of us feel like we cannot reach our knees far enough forward. So for this, bring your body over your hands and you'll soon find your knees go further into your body. Again, around 30 reps or whatever feels difficult for you. And finally, going outside is exactly the same. If you want your knees to touch your elbows, you need to bring your body over your hands. So that's my biggest tip. Make sure your alignment is correct, and if you can't reach, bring your body a little more further forward. One of my favorite movements is shoulder plank tap. However, if your feet are close together and your hands are wider, it becomes much harder to keep your body tight. See how much my butt and hips are moving? However, to make it easier, if I take my legs wider and my hands closer, I can keep everything much more tight and avoid any movement. So this would be the progression. Start here and gently move your legs out wider until you have the perfect form. A side plank is a great way to increase core strength. So my top tip would be to place your feet on top of each other and start on your elbows. Try and touch something in through the gap to give you a goal to work towards, and make sure that all of your pressure is through the elbows. The same on both sides, and I'd recommend starting small, just 5 or 10 or 15, taking it slowly. If this is really hard, then place one foot in front of the other for a little bit more stability. The progression from doing it on your elbows is obviously to go to hands, which feels a lot more wobblier and also can make your hands hurt. So for here, I've put one foot in front of the other to gain a little bit more control, and I'm taking it a little bit slower. Trust me, it's a killer, between 15 to 30 reps each side. For those of you who struggle to do ab crunches, a Bossy Ball is a great way to increase momentum and help flexibility. I'm going to take my hands all the way behind, touch the floor, and thrust up. Now, I also have my legs crossed. This means my hip flexors are turned off, which actually makes it harder and means that my abs are working better. Trust me, this is great. Between 10 to 30 reps, whatever you can do. Another one of my favorites is to touch the arch of your heel to your hand. So this is kind of a progression from doing the ab crunches. You bring your body up from flat, you tap the heel, and you keep going until your abs kill. This is very isolating, tiring, but all of you guys can do it. If you really struggle, you could put a weight in your hand, which will just help you get up a little bit easier. And another great bodyweight move is to do a V-sit. So for this, we're simply bringing our legs up, find that balancing point. As you can see, it's not that easy, and hold for as long as possible. Between 30 seconds onwards is fantastic. Once you've mastered that, let's change it and do some V-sits. So I'm taking my body all the way down, I'm bringing it back up, maintaining control, and my feet never touch the ground. This obviously does torch them more than the other, but to use the two in a circuit is fantastic. Again, between 10 to 30 reps. Okay, another do and don't coming up. So obviously doing hanging leg raises is a great one, and I've used it for a long period of time. Now when you do it, I want you to make sure that your body is as still as possible. Also make sure that you get a good grip. I fall off all the time. So with this, you can see that I'm trying not to swing. I'm just bringing my knees up as high as they can and taking them down low. I've locked my arms, I'm trying to breathe, and I'm opting for between 10 to 20 reps. 15 is usually a good number, as my hands usually give up before that time. However, when it looks wrong is when people bring themselves up and they are full on swinging. So we are swinging as much as possible. We're not swinging from the arms, so it's not kipping. We are just swinging from our torso, which is not good for our back or our stomach. Another one of my favorites using the cable machine is the wood chop. There's a couple of variations, but for the first one, let's make it chest height. We're going to squeeze our glute, we're going to make sure our shoulders are dropped, and with locked arms, we're going to take it out to one side and slowly bring it into the other. Notice that it is not touching the machine. I'm keeping resistance at all times. This one really is a killer, so make sure you take it slow to begin with. 10 to 15 reps is perfect for this, and obviously make sure you do both sides. One side will feel way easier than the other. So again, lock out the arms, keep your body as tight as possible, pull your belly button through as if it was to reach your spine, and keep your mouth open so that you can breathe. Now we can then change this, so we're going to go from low to high, almost swinging as if we were playing golf. So I'm going to bring the cable machine back in, I'm going to take it all the way down to the floor, and from here we're then going to go down from my trainers up to overhead. Now I find this one harder, I think because my shoulders and my arms actually get just as tired as my core. Again, super straight arms and power. I want you to literally swing as if we are Tiger Woods. You'll notice again that your glutes are super squeezed, and remember to breathe as much as possible. 10 to 15 reps will be perfect, and 3 sets for all. If you're looking for a nice little circuit to do using a weight, I've just grabbed this 5 kilo plate, but you can use anything for this because actually this is a little bit harder than you first think. So first of all, we're just taking the plate over our knees, my shoulders are off the floor and my legs are going out as straight as possible. Remember from previous with the leg raises that if you can't take your legs that low, it's no problem. The most important part is that your back stays flat on the mat. Yeah, there I am. That was so awkward to film, guys. And now from here, we're going to change it. I've put the plate on my toes. Now, this makes the balance so much harder. So if you're just beginning, this might not be for you. You can go lower, or you could just ask a friend to apply a little bit of pressure on your toes. This may make you rock. So the most important part is that your back is flat against that mat. From here, we're then going to change it again, and I'm going to take my toes up to the ceiling, and we're going to tap behind and then tap our legs. So obviously during this whole workout, we've been using our triceps, our core, and a little bit of legs. I have one last circuit for you all, and it's using the same plate. This time we're going to use it to help us do ab crunches, something I've always found difficult. So the momentum of the weight and you bring your body up means it's actually a little bit easier. Keep your feet on the ground, bring yourself all the way up and try and push your head through the weight. So between 10 to 15 or however many you want to do. This is a 3-move circuit, so you will get fatigued. So I'd recommend starting slow and then building up the reps. The next one we're going to do is we're only going to take it halfway. See as how my body isn't fully coming up, which means it's a little bit more tiring, and I've slowed things down just to fatigue my abs a little bit more. Also here we're getting a really good arm and shoulder workout, and to finish we're going to go into Russian twist, which we all know is a killer. Obviously you can do this without the weight, but I actually think it works better. Make the plate touch the floor, and around 30 reps of this is great. Keep those toes up. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you want next. Bye guys.